Okay, I'll start recording now, and then I'll post this on Discord later. Sorry, it's like 22 minutes in. We were looking at portfolio up until now. So can I share portfolio to Bloomberg Term on Bloomberg Term? I'll figure that out. I think that's going to take me too long to like Google right now while everybody's watching. So I'll figure out if I can share the portfolio on here so that we can all like see it and track it and stuff. Let's see. So PRTU would be portfolio administration. And you can see I have a few on here, so I was trying different things. So SMIF, so this is our holdings right here. So when we bought them all, I have the dates that we bought them on. This is when I created on the 5th, but I did it at whatever price they were at. And then where does it say? Price, so 56.18. It's currently at 66. So no, that's not right. That's where we bought it at. This is what it's at now. So it's down a ton. Let me look at this real quick. Sorry. Which one? What was the stop loss at? 65? Okay, yeah, 66 is the lowest it got over the last month or so. But that means we're still in it and it's down. Okay. But so yeah, so from your pitch, where was your entry and what was your take profit? My entry was 70. Yeah, I think that sounds right. Because I posted on the Discord what we were doing. 70. How do I search posts on our thing? Well, I was just trying to find the like when I posted on Discord where I said, here's what we're buying and we'll use this as our simulator. Yeah, Google Finance doesn't know. That's why we're here. Okay. So anyway, I just want to show you a couple things. I didn't have like the same like layout as before for like presenting and stuff today. So I wanted to at least highlight some stuff. So portfolio is one thing that we could use. And then let's go. Hold on just a sec. So we might want to look at like how our portfolio performs compared to the S&P or compared to something else. So this is tracking error, but what is it comparing to? Nothing. I don't know why. It just says nothing. And that's our main portfolio. So our active risk is because we have like specific trades. So we're not just sitting in S&P 500 and nothing else. And so different factors that are affecting our portfolio, that kind of stuff. I'd say it's probably a good idea for us to just play around with different options available to us on this thing, right? IVV. That should be the iShares, I think, right? Yeah, so BlackRock's iShares Core S&P ETF. So IVV, that was the lowest expense ratio, 0.03 down here, and the other one was like 0.04, and there was one that's 0.09, I think. That's just that's what I chose, but or that's what we chose. I didn't choose it. I gave you a bunch of choices. That's what we all said, but yeah. So Some other things that we might want to look at. So other like tools that would be useful. I'm going to pull up. We'll do Micron because we just talked about it. If it shows us this graph, so we can look at like all kinds of different things on here. So this is just looking at their beta and their performance over time. This is where they are as of the last month, and then each dot is just over the past like 5 years worth. This is set up for weekly over, where does it say? Over the last 2 years. So that's not that great. So if I want monthly over 5 years, that'd be a better representation of beta. So monthly over 5 years, we have our raw beta is 1.176. Or if you adjust for the more recent data points to be have a little more weight, then 1.118 is its beta there. So if I go to, hold on a sec, finance, go to Micron MU. I can see they have 1.16 for their 5-year monthly beta, and we have 1.17 for our raw one. And we might switch. Maybe we don't want the x-axis to be the S&P 500 because you can compare beta to something else. So the relative index could be NASDAQ or something. And then you got to hit enter. And then that's a little bit lower beta if you compare it to the NASDAQ. But yeah. The columns or the graph? The columns here would be how many points were in that bracket, in that range. Let me switch back to the SP. There we go. So you see there's a bunch of these columns right here are all bigger. That's because most of the dots fall within that range, right? And there's no columns right here. There's no dots right here. So then there's one tiny column here because there's one dot there. Yeah. So how many points? So generally this should be pretty similar to a bell curve because most of the stuff's going to hover around the center. If you see multimodal, bimodal distribution where you have like a big peak on one side and a big peak on the other side and it goes down in the middle, that means there's a lot of like it's rarely in the middle, rarely the average return, and the average is being messed with by outliers, which generally is not a good sign. I don't really know what would cause that. Something that it would be like an actively managed fund, maybe an individual stock would rarely have that, right? And then this graph on the left-hand side, same idea. You can see that this is essentially a normal distribution, which is kind of what you want, right? And same thing for here, normal distribution a little bit above 0, so 1.04. So about 1.04% would be our average return probably, and then on the S&P, and then on Micron, 2.02 would be the average return on Micron. So it actually outperforms the market a little bit. And we kind of know that because the beta is above 1 anyway. So we do. Well, yeah, but we could do that on Bloomberg too. But yeah. Hold on a sec. Hey, Ruben. How do I go to Micron? Or I mean, how do I go to Morningstar? Let's see if we can. How do I perform alpha analysis? HRA. Okay. No. Let me see. How can I regression? I want to do regression now. So HRA, right? Is that what they said? Regression analysis. Let me open it in a tab. HRA. I mean, that's just the beta though. I don't know. Let's look. This is just on Micron. So let's do Give me just a minute. Figure it out. I do it within port. Okay. I go to port first, then pick my portfolio. Now this isn't actually our portfolio, right? But that's okay. Yeah, but you got to do it for the portfolio. Like if I'm on here, oops, if I'm here, okay, go away. If I'm here, this is for Micron. I can't type in our SMIF portfolio. Yeah, so I have to go. You have to go to the portfolio first, and then you can do. I don't know what you do. Let's find out. Performance. And let's do portfolio characteristics, maybe CH. Oops. Okay, so what do we have here? The weightings, return on equity, average current ratio for our portfolio. Problem is every time you click on anything, you gotta wait like a while to get results. Okay, so I have another tab where I'm like have this stuff. So where else? I mean, we could do it by hand if we needed to, but let's find. Okay, let me do this. Terminal. Port plus. So Bloomberg has a search thing. So we want historical fund, apps benchmark, alpha portfolio management. That's an equity. So give me functions. So port HFA, portfolio sentinel, equity screener. Okay, so portfolio PA maybe. Okay, so portfolio return 5% loss. So our alpha is going to be negative no matter what, probably, right? I mean, no, that's not true because we could still be outperforming the market. How do we figure that out? Materials is doing the best. Dow. All right, I'm going to take credit for that one. And Micron and ASML not great. Actually, ASML is doing the worst. Joseph. I'm just kidding. Okay, so what can I do to do this? I don't know. I'll have to figure this out because not sure why I can't find anything. Total return today, total return for the month. So our portfolio is up 3.9. Is that dollars? Because it doesn't say percent. So it's got to be, it's up $3 today. Let's see. So is ASML up $6? Or is Micron's down to down $1.50? Micron's down $1.50 today. So that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I mean, I'm working my way through this live, so I'm not really sure. Performance summary. It's loading. It's going to download a file. or it's not. There it is. Okay, so when we do our annual report, so the university wants us to present to our investment company or investment group for the Chico State every October when they have their annual meeting, and so the students who are here in the fall, we're going to put together a report that's way more in depth than this. This is not a very good report, but we'll put together an annual report, and I'm going to have you all present to them. So this is how our portfolio is done since I created it. Not great. Let's see if we can get better reporting. Well, yeah, because I mean, I've just put everything in there every time someone pitched anything. So our total portfolio here has, this is our entire portfolio as of now: ASML, Micron, Dow, and the S&P. I didn't put Microsoft in there yet, but I could. We have a lot of tech risks. Like if we just go by, we have materials and IT, right? So we have 46% in IT, 5% in materials, and 47% in the S&P 500. That's our whole portfolio. Not good. Indirectly, we could get an ETF that tracks a commodity index. If you wanted to do that. PXE, that's the one I talk about in my 351 class. PXE is a energy ETF, Invesco Dynamic Energy Exploration and Production ETF. So I mean, we could buy that if we wanted to be. So we go look and say, okay, well, we would have top. Oh, that's who hold it. It could be. Yeah, the rules are not awesome. Let me go look. Hold on. I'll pull up the actual rules real quick. They're still in draft form. Yeah, I hear you. Give me a sec. You gotta be selling, I mean, I get what you're saying. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't yeah. Okay, so this is totally draft version, so it's not we haven't signed this or anything like that. But so any management SMIF funds will be in compliance subject to the terms, conditions, blah, blah, foundations, enforce investment policy, Exhibit A. Oh, I need to go find Exhibit A. Hold on. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that right now. All right. So Exhibit A is the university's policy, right? So then their policy is super long and they have a bunch of rules on theirs. And then we got to find where they talk about their rules. So standard of conduct, no, investment philosophy. Okay. So current funds and strategic reserves consist of cash not needed, blah, 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 blah. life insurance policies, real estate, investment objectives, investment selection criteria. So before including or removing any fund, the committee, this is for the university, this isn't us, will identify the assets be blah, blah. The investment advisor will do some things. I want to find their rules. Investment guidelines. No more than 30% of the portfolio. That's actually overall for the whole thing. So our portfolio can have different rules. There we go. So certain investment restrictions represent the values of social responsibility expressed by the Board of Governors. The assets in the endowment pool will exclude direct investments in the specific top 200 public coal, oil, and gas companies as identified through 350.org. So that's the actual out. So 350.org, top 200 oil and gas companies. Specific top 200. Yeah, if they're not in the top 200. Where is it? Carbon Underground. So Carbon Underground 200. This is a different organization. Coal 100, oil and gas 100, tar sands. We can't buy tar sands companies, I guess. I just want to look. I just want to see the list. Can I see the list? Fact sheet. I don't know what a tar sand is. You've been in tar sands for 5 years? Oh, been long, yeah. Why can't they just have a list? Like, why can't there just be a URL for the list? Top 200 for go fossil free. I guess that's the same. Latest public ranking fossil fuel companies by size. Okay. That's 2016. Jesus Christ. This you have to request a copy? And you have to pay for it probably? This is, I figured out, I know their plan. We need to, okay, screw the SMIF. We're going to create an organization that lists like the top 200 of something that nobody cares about, but we'll say it's important. We'll get everybody to buy our list from us. That's what we'll do. And then we don't have to invest in anything. We'll just have everybody pay us to create a list. Okay, I'll figure out what that list entails later. Investment advisor will review policy. Okay. So then our rules, what's specific to us here? So I'll go through the whole thing with you. So student managed fund, we're doing it so that you can be educated, unique opportunity, career opportunities, strengthen our relationship with financial community, all that kind of stuff. All good stuff, right? Like opportunity to attract more serious, committed students. You all are serious and committed. I want everybody else to be what the level that you all are. Expense ratio for managing SMIF will not exceed 1% of the beginning value. I changed this language on the new draft. This is our old draft. And so we can charge a management fee. So that's what we'll do in the long term. Probably not while we're managing $25,000, but when we're managing $25 million, I'll charge a 1% fee, and then we'll use that money to buy more Bloomberg terminals or renovate the lab or do whatever. And then they want us to have an advisory board. Yeah. So that's one of the debates with the dean is like we can make this a class for units, or like we can make this a job for students, and it's hard either way. And so I don't know where we're going to land on that. Obviously, we can't do that now. What's up? Yeah. Well, I mean, like, is there a benefit for students to make this a class? Like, if you have
this is a class,
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that. I know that there is a benefit. I mean, I know that there actually is, but from a student's perspective, I have to, like, I don't understand student thought process all the time. So like sometimes they'll be like, oh yeah, this would be awesome, they'll love it, and then everybody's like, whatever. And so like if everybody says, yeah, 3 units, but I mean I could just go take a state, I could take insurance, I could take whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't need 3 units. And so like if I paid everybody, that would be great too, but we'd have to have enough money to pay everybody, and have to get paid minimum wage, you have to be an employee, you have to get live scanned, you'd have to do like the annual training for all the student employees. Like it's kind of a hassle, a bunch of stuff that you probably don't want to do just to like be involved, right? You like it, like, I mean, everybody wants to get paid, sure.
I'm sure it would cost them a lot of competition.
Do it for money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot of people apply to be paraplanners for the financial wellness clinic. It's a paid job. Like way more people applied than I thought would. Now I have to like actually do real interviews. I feel bad because I have to tell some students no, and you know I don't want to. I wish I could hire everybody. Well, I'm not, yeah. Okay, so we'll figure out the rules for that later. But yeah, once we start collecting some money and stuff, we'll charge a fee, and then we'll have an advisory board. So for sure, a company called Arnerich Messina. They manage the endowment for the university, and they want to, or they donate money to us. They give us like $2,500 a year or something, not a huge amount, but they give us the money to manage, and they have an endowment, so they pay us like ongoing forever. We have a perpetuity with them, and so like they'll be on our board because they like helped us get started, and then we'll have some other people that are like alumni, and maybe like I think it'd be cool to have Tom Logan from BlackRock. He might be a good person to have, and then a couple other alums who are like big names in the investment world. I'll be the faculty advisor. That's still me. And then this. Okay, so we can join. You can join, and then we need 80. Like if you're here 80% of the time, then you can vote. That's just the rule we set up. So then we can vote on whether or not we buy or sell. You can learn by being here. I'll submit the orders. There's groups, everybody will be assigned different groups for industries. We already know how that works, right? So everybody, you pick your industry group and pitch your stock based on your industry. Every time somebody pitches, we'll have a vote. Everyone gets to cast one vote. And then I will put in the trade once we have a vote. I'll keep track of the fund during breaks. We have money. We're not going to pay a bunch of fees. That's it. I mean, we're going through this whole thing, right? Asset management group will cover our costs. And then every year in October, they want us to report so October meeting, Board of Governors, that's the university's like investment pool, right? So the foundation board they're the ones that have about $100 million that they manage for Chico State. So they want us to present to them every year in October. So I will prep students in advance of that meeting so that when we go, it'll probably be in Kendall. Like it's not going to be, we don't have to travel for it or anything, but we'll go present to them. Allocation will be, so medium and large cap blend of equities. So also with covered calls. So S&P 500 is our benchmark. So we might be able to alter that a little bit, right? Medium and large cap equities and US specific. Like, would we want to have what's considered a US large cap company? Is Toyota a US large cap company? I can buy them in the United States, right? What if I put like, yeah, but if I hit Toyota US equity, Toyota Motor Corp depository receipts, yeah. So this is specifically the ADR, but it represents Toyota in the United States. Okay, that's how you feel about it, but that doesn't dictate the truth. Okay, I mean the problem with that is, I mean what you're saying is, I feel like that makes sense. And the SMIF's kind of like honors finance 351. Yeah, Jessica said, what if we had it like honors 351? I mean, kind of. I'd probably be more like 481, but yeah. Anyway, so like whether or not we think this should count isn't really the issue. It's whether or not like they think it should count. So I got to figure out the rules, like how we're going to make that work. So, and I don't think they know. Like the guy that wrote this isn't like an investment manager, right? He's like the lawyer, accountant person for the fund. S&P 500 index will be our benchmark. That's fine. Nobody cares about that. We have to do a bunch of research before we can just pick stuff. We can modify in the future as long as we provide a revised allocation. Say, hey, we don't want to target the S&P anymore. We want to target NASDAQ or something. We can do that. And then we can't liquidate more than 25% of our entire portfolio at any one 30-day period. So that's the only other rule. And I think that's going to be okay. I think I actually gave them some suggestion about maybe, I don't know what happens. Like what happens if there's just a ridiculous market crash and we want to get out of everything? Who knows? You know. This is just administration, and then this is the university's policy. So that's it. I mean, that's the whole thing for us that we care about. So I want to make sure you all saw that. What questions can I answer? Yeah. I don't know that we'd be able to meet during the summer because not everybody would be available. So what we could do is, since we're going to be in a position for more than a year, usually, like we say, well, if you want to make a pitch, let's have you get ready, and then you could pitch at the first meeting of the fall. You know, and then we can make our trade the first meeting. The reason for me to have like control during the summer is in case something stupid happens in June and no one's around to vote, I have to have the ability to say, okay, we need to get out of that, right? I mean, Starbucks files for bankruptcy in June after we bought it in February or something. I have to sell that like as soon as possible, right? So that's the rule, or that's like the idea behind that rule. So I would rather not initiate any positions, but I would liquidate them during summer or winter. Yeah. What other questions can I answer?
Still have you in the summer?
I mean, yeah, the building, yeah, as long as the building's open, because then I don't think they lock this door. I don't know.
Summer, I
Oh, I don't think it'll be any classes. No, I just think this room would be like someone could come in this room and sit at the computer if they want to. Like during the summer, students can go sit at the. Oh, I see your hand. Okay, give me just a sec. During the summer, students can go to the library and go use the computers in the library. So I assume like the same idea.
How about on the weekend?
I think the building's locked on weekends.
On weekend?
Has anybody tried to come in during the weekend? You haven't tried to? Okay. Has anybody?
For the weekend, 6:45.
So locked at 6:45 in the morning and locked on weekends. Okay, that's all I know. I did try to come in and like at 10 o'clock one night, and the doors that outside the building were locked. And even when I swiped my ID, they like unlocked, but they didn't actually. Like I could hear the unlock happen, and I still couldn't open the door. So I don't know. Okay, sorry, you had a question. Yeah. If the university is open and like people are working and stuff, this door should be unlocked and like you should be able to come in through the building. There's Does it close early on Fridays?
I think so. I think it closes at 5.
Okay, that could be.
But it might change.
No, they'll be able to kick you out. Okay. If you're already in here, the only people that would ever try to kick you out would probably be like custodial people. But you could say, "Oh, I'm working on a project, and I know the custodial people in this building. They're all nice people." So you'd be like, "Okay, no worries." Like, I don't think anybody would ever try to kick you out. Or Neelan might. Just kidding. Yeah, that was your question. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What other things? Address. So what should we do for next week's meeting then? So do you want me to? I'll figure out if I can share the portfolio before that. I'll figure out more about like industry research reports, and then maybe we'll come up with the like formal structure for. Here's the title of the leader of the like research group, and here's the title of the people under them. We'll just have everything set up and ready to go for the fall. We can do one more pitch. Not you, somebody else should. What should we pitch? Not tech. Okay. Somebody come up with an idea. Like what would be something like a completely different industry, right?
Energy, maybe?
Energy. Landon says energy. Like consumer cyclical? What's the LVMH? Oh, that's not. Moet, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. That would be French. So we can't buy them. Yeah. So well, Nike for sure. They're in the Dow. They're absolutely there. So Nike. Yeah. Do you want to do? I can do a pitch on Nike unless somebody else wants to try it. Does anybody rather see something different, or does Nike work? Nobody cares. Okay. What's that?
I just have no idea what.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I was trying to pull up. Hold on. Costco?
Yeah, they're super expensive.
Maybe Costco. No, Winco's employee owned. Oh, that's Cisco. Cost is Costco. Yep. There you go. Costco. Okay. Which do you want to do? Costco. Okay. Does somebody want to pitch it or does somebody want me to pitch it?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
God damn it, guys. Come on. Just kidding. That's just kidding. What's that?
What is the meaning of
Like do an in-depth research report on the company and then give a recommendation if we should buy or sell. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it. So Costco, next week from today, I'll have a report on their financials, whether or not we should own them. Oops, not that. We market. I mean, they're down 4% today. They're up like a ridiculous percent. Hold on. So check out. So here's on the chart on Bloomberg. You can do percentage. I'll say from here to where they are today is up 61%. I don't know what date I picked. August of 2020. But we might. Let's get rid of that. Delete that. So we say what percentage change. So let's say we bought them like at the beginning of this year to today, they're down 5%. But if we had bought them, let's say the beginning of 2021, where's 2020? Beginning of 2021 would have been here. So today they're up 40%, right? So you can go look at that. I still think TradingView has a better. They're on an uptrend and they're about to touch their support line. That's money. I'd say that's not good. Yeah, fib lines. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah. The thing I like about fib lines is that they are like fractal. Like you can zoom in and out at different levels and they still apply, and it's super weird. It's like the nature of application to markets, right? So like I'm gonna extend this line out a bit. Okay, so fib lines are from within a range. You can, so like I picked the bottom of this range to the top of this one and said, okay, well, let me actually do this a little bit so we can see the whole thing all at once. I'm gonna move this there and what if we said, so let's say when it started coming down here, we said, okay, that's gonna be the tip of our fib line. So then I just extend it forward, but just so that it touches there. So the top touches there, and then the bottom touches there. And so then we use the fib lines as support and resistance indicators. So as it kind of consolidates around this line, I say, okay, that's gonna be a buying opportunity. It takes forever for it to move up, but then it does. And I might have probably sold out here, even though I could have seen now with the benefit of hindsight, I can see, oh, well, I probably wouldn't have had this line at all because I wouldn't know the top until I'm here. But now that I am here, like once it starts coming down here, I say, okay, this is the top. So I have to think about this in the perspective of what did I know at the time that it happened, right? So I didn't know any of these lines existed until this event here happened and this event here happened. And that's where I drew my fib lines. And so, sorry. So the fib lines I place here once it came down, and now I can say, okay, here's my one. These are both support lines. But I can see that it kind of bounced off of here. So like I would have probably bought here thinking, okay, it's going to bounce off. And then big news happened at some point somewhere around here, or something caused the market to just tank. And I can see if I zoom in on these candlesticks right here, they're gapping down. So that's a really negative sign. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So these gap down candlesticks right here is super negative sign. So had I bought here and then seen this gap happen, I would have sold out and then waited. And then I would have seen it kind of consolidate here. Probably would have still been riled by this and probably not bought it here. But then bless you. But then this would cause a support line, came back up. This is supposed to be a resistance line, but it kind of, cheated it a little bit. Now it's just gonna like bounce around here. So it's got a lot of movement going on right now. So maybe not a good buying opportunity. Because then once it came up over here, it overextended again and fell back down. So now it's kind of canceled out some of this now that there's been so much movement across this line. But we might, because it's big down day to day, we might wait, see if it reaches the 470 mark and then see if we can buy in around 470. That would be my indicator there. The fib lines are drawn based on the Fibonacci sequence, but it's actually the golden ratio between any two adjacent points within the Fibonacci sequence. So the Fibonacci is this, you start with 1, 1, and then you just add every point to the previous one. So 1, 1, so then you add those, you get 2. So the 2, 1, you add those, you get 3. So the 3, 2, you add those, you get 5. And you do that until you go up to like a bajillion. And then you take any two adjacent numbers and divide them, and you get like 1.6 something, something, something. And then that ratio, or 0.681 or whatever, the golden ratio, whatever that is. So it ends up looking like this, and then like it shows up in nature a lot. So it's just like this is the way that shells grow. This is the way that branches on trees grow. This is the way that all kinds of different things happen. And then it also is the way that markets run, which is super weird. But I think it's fascinating. So I could use these. They also have other kinds of fib things. So fib extensions. So I use that same thing to graph like here. Same idea. And then I can draw like, okay, what happens on the uptrend if it goes up? And so you can see if I extended those fib lines and I just kept it going up, you can see this ended up being a resistance. So I might have shorted here, right? If I was super aggressive, I guess. It came up and it hit this point and came down. I could have shorted right here. I might have gotten stopped out. Probably would have set my stop a little high. And then this would have been profitable. But this transaction here, like shorting at this point, is a reflection of seeing the movement from here to here. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So I might utilize this tool, having already decided long term I want to be in Costco. I might use the fib line to select a specific entry. Yeah, yeah. With if you're using like Owanda to trade currencies, it's going to be probably more relevant because you're going to have an active market trading all the time. It never closes except on weekends. So that gets to be a little more fast paced. Yeah, but there's actually a bunch of other, like there's a time fib too. Like there's all kinds of crazy things you could do. So I say within certain ranges here. So I say, okay, here's like, this is not very helpful, but I do like that. And so now I can see, okay, I mean, I drew this terribly, but the time fib is supposed to signal when more volatility is going to happen. So I see this timeline here and I say, okay, something big is going to happen right now. And so I want to like either be in or out of it at this point. That's the idea. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. Can someone do macro on the like consumer? I guess this would be consumer defensive, Costco. Let me do. Hold on. Okay, yeah, so I'll put together like the details on Costco specifically, and if someone can come with a macro report to like complement my Costco pitch, and then we can do a whole like 360 view of Costco all at the same time. Okay, so Sam and Matt, you guys are on it, and then I'll be on the actual equity pitch. All right, that'll be our plan. I think we're good. Any other questions I can answer? I know like a lot of people have to. Okay, sweet. Good deal. Yeah, you too. All right. Let's stop there. So Jessica, Landon, Ricardo, I see you guys on there, but you guys good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
Alrighty.